Hey guys, Joeteck here. We're going to do a review, well, I'm doing a review, not you, on the Neewer TT660 revision 2 flash for digital SLRs. This is actually a pretty impressive flash. It has lots and lots of features that you normally wouldn't find in any other flash unless it has that particular feature. But this one is $60 on Amazon. I'll be showing a link to it in my description below. And what's nice about this particular flash is that it has built-in 2.4 gigahertz wireless. It does all ultra long distance flash system, so it communicates with other wireless devices for triggering other flashes within your I guess photo shoot. So if you have other flashes and other things that need to trigger off, instead of being triggered via the flash, which this can do, by the way, you can trigger it via wireless, and you can set up masters and slaves and so on and so forth. I will show you the menu system shortly, but just want to go over the characteristics of the flash. Now what's really nice, this will work with pretty much every manufacturer camera that has a hot shoe. This has a universal hot shoe connection where it has that one pin in the center of the hot shoe. That would indicate the generic, so if you could zoom in here so you can actually see what I'm talking about. That's the traditional, I guess that's what that is what is needed for I guess the generic hot shoe, and that's the positive, I would suspect, and everything else is negative. So that is that with that. Also, it has a really beautiful large screen on here, which is quite impressive. I mean, normally if you just have a regular flash, why would you need to have a screen? But there's so many bells and whistles this thing has. It's quite impressive. So let's go down the list of cameras. It can do Canon, Nikon, Pentax, Olympus, SLR, digital SLR cameras. So if you have a regular non-digital SLR camera, it'll still work with it, which is nice. That's a home run. Alright, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty of this camera flash. It actually, the flashing distance is up to 50 meters or 164 feet. So depending on what power setting you set with the flash. See, what's really nice with the most camera flashes that are built into all these cameras, you can adjust how bright or like how much light you want and how much light you need. So I mean, this flash is adjustable, and I'll show you in a moment. What's really cool about this flash is that the power, you just can't just press this power button once to turn it on. So it eliminates accidental power on, which is really cool. So if I have to press and hold this, and then it finally comes online, and there we go. That's the display, which is really nice. It looks like I might have low batteries. See the indicator on the right? I have rechargeable batteries in this, and there it goes out. So maybe it was just charging. There is a blue indicator light down here. Actually, you probably can't see with the light on. Let me lower the light. So now you can see that indicates that the flash is ready to fire when that light is lit. The light that I'm using, I'll also have a description on it. This is the Neewer CN-LUX360. I actually did a review on that already. That'll be in the link below as well. I'm using it to light up my subject here. Works out really well. Anyway, this is also a Neewer flash for the camera. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. As you can see, that there's no more display. The display actually shut off. Now that saves on power, which is nice. So you don't have to worry about the batteries dying, leaving the display on. So as soon as I press the key, it comes back to life. Right? So this flash is currently at 1/128th of the power at full power. So you can actually change this by pressing the right button on here on the side here. So we can go all the way down to 1 to 1. And it is bright. Holy mackerel, it is bright. Because it's full power, but don't expect to take full power shots like quick shooting. I've realized that at 1/32 at 32 power, I guess it actually, we can do one right after the other. I mean, it's quite, I mean, just over and over and over again, which is pretty impressive, and it's really bright. I mean, I'm manually triggering it so you can see. I don't know, I'm not sure if you actually see it, but I'm just hitting it over and over and over again. It's recharging very quickly. Now it's really bright. It's making this room light up like a Christmas tree. But if you wanted continuous lighting, you may. What's really nice, because like I said, you can if you only have one flash, obviously you'll have to set the power. But 128 is pretty much all I needed for most of my camera shoots, and this will just go all day long with set to this level. Now what's nice about this camera is that it has the ability to, you have a zoom feature here. So in other words, the distance that this can shoot is up to 50 meters, but you can actually change that. So right now it's set for 35 millimeter. You have 50 millimeter, 70, 85, 105, 35, 180. And we'll go backwards. So it's 180, 135, 105, 85, 70, 50, what you saw when we started, 35, 28, 24, and 18. And that's the lowest it goes, is 18. So this is the distance that you choose. I chose 50 because I'm using an 18 to 55 zoom or lens that I'm using on here, a Nikkor 18 to 55 millimeter. So I chose to leave it on 50 because it'll go between 0 and 50 millimeter. So that's the range, and 55 is in there. I mean not in there. You know what I mean? It's close. So let's go into some, and if you're in a dark area, you need to be able to see. There is a nice light. It lights up the display, which is really nice. So you have this nice backlit display, and it's quite nice, especially when you're in a dark environment. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit here so you can see something. What's nice about this camera, this flash, is that it does fold down, so you can actually look at this direction and you can see it, you can fire it. It also spins 180 degrees that way and 180 degrees that way. You can't call it 360 because it doesn't completely spin, so it's 180 degrees each direction. And it goes up 45, it also moves in 45 degree. So you can move it like this. So if you, depending on what shot you want to do, you want to go straight up, bounce off the ceiling, you can do that. Plus it also has this diffuser built in, which is, you don't need this card. So you have this diffuser built in if you wanted to use that, and then you also have that card, which you saw, to help deflect the light, so it stays down. So it doesn't go above the light. It tries to focus it straight on. It also came with this diffuser as well, this piece of plastic, which goes right over the lens if you wanted to use this instead. So that's really nice. And the other cool thing that it came with, which I didn't expect, because when I opened up the box, it came with a nice carrying case, and that's what comes with it, a nice carrying case, and it has Velcro. So if you want to wrap it around a pole on your I guess on your tripod, whatever, you could do that. You wrap it right on there. It also comes with a stand. So what we'll talk about in a second here is that the whole point of this stand is that if you had multiple flashes, let's pop this baby on, and you wanted to trigger this one could be the master. You could face it on a table or whatever, and you can point it in the direction that you need the flash to go. But if you have multiple, like 4 or 5 of these babies, or 3 or whatever, they could be triggered by the flash. So what you would do is you spin this thing around, and now you have the sensor on the back here that senses the flash if you're going to do flash triggering. And RF, doesn't matter which direction it faces, but if you're doing flash triggering, you would have it in this direction. So when the flash goes off on the camera, this baby triggers as well, and then it'll do all of them. It'll trigger every one of them. Now, let's take this stand off, unlock it, and slide it out. So let's go over a couple of the features this has. So we go into the modes, which is, we have master. Let me zoom in a little bit here for you so you can see what I'm doing. So this is Wi-Fi. That's the indication of Wi-Fi. You have channel 1, it goes up to channel 9, and then this is the master flash, and this communicates with all the other flashes. So when the camera is triggered, you need to have a transmitter at the camera side to communicate with this, and then this would communicate with other flashes, which is really nice. Since I don't have that feature, I'm not going to be using that. So we'll go to the next level. Now this is slave on channel 1. Like I said, you can go to multiple channels. So if I go in this mode, if I hit the zoom button, this bounces between each option. And then you use the pretty much this pad here to make adjustments. So if I go to here, I could change the channel that it's on up to 9, and I can also change what group it's in, A, B, or C. So this is important because if you have, say, group A, you have it set for 1/64th of a power. Group B, you might have at 128, and group C you might have at I don't know, 1/8, 1/8 of a power, and you have them located all different locations in your room. So you can actually have different groups, different things firing off at the same time, and also you can have it change I can't even get through it here. Here we go. So if you decide to go in the flash mode, this is also really nice. Decide to go in the flash mode. This is S1 slave, and it's triggered by the flash. That's what that little lightning bolt means. Then you have S2, and you can actually change. So each one of these you can actually change to whatever you want it to do. In other words, this only I'm assuming this only allows you to have 3 flashes with this. So it'll be a master and 2 slaves. I haven't tried any more than that. I would suspect that it wouldn't matter. You could probably have as many as you like on this. I only have 1 at the moment, so I really can't test the slave master slave functions. But if you're very into photography and you know exactly what you're looking at right here, it's quite impressive, and it may work exactly what you need it to do. This does use 4 AA batteries on the side here. I'm using rechargeable batteries at the moment because I have those readily available. But the flash is quite. I happen to like it a lot. I've been using it on all my indoor shoots right now. I just received it a couple days ago, but I've been doing a lot of cool shots with it. It's really nice. I'll show some of the pictures in the video as well. And it also has external power and a secondary trigger. So if you have another device that you need to have, this is an external trigger connection, which is really nice. Especially if you have other devices and you need the other devices synced up to this particular flash and whatnot. But overall, it's a really nice flash. The only downside to it is that it is a beast. It is huge. It's very heavy. Adding it to the camera is, it's very top heavy after that. I'm recording this video on the Nikon D7200. It does 1080p at 60 frames a second. I'm not recording it at that rate. I'm recording it at 30 frames a second, but when I'm using that camera to do picture taking, adding this flash to it is a pain in the neck. It's also, I mean, especially when if you're doing it with your, you know, using it with your hand. If it's on a tripod, it doesn't really matter. But so anyway, so I recommend this flash if you need something that you need multi-function with. The Wi-Fi capability is pretty neat. I find that feature. I'm going to be using that probably within a few weeks. I have a couple of photo shoots I have to do for Long Island Economy, and it should be an exciting event. So anyway, as you can see, it's in power save mode. Just tapping any key brings it back to life again. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this video, and please subscribe, and please post down below. I love comments. I really enjoy comments. Thank you very much, guys, and have a great day.